camping.
Right. That's right. Well,
So far, so good.
good.
Tomorrow, hopefully I can. Uh-oh. Ooh.
I bumped my hand on that stupid shelf.
Oh.
That's all right. No, but I'm glad you're feeling okay.
So, we the only ones?
So far. So far. Like it's not quite 7:30 yet. So hot today.
Oh, I know, 90 degrees. And
Yeah.
of course, Kitty Cat wanted to go out.
Oh, of course, in the heat. Oh, Nancy, I went over to Nancy's. We worked on our calendars, and it's like,
Oh,
I think she has a fan in her room because they don't have air conditioning.
uh-uh.
But I do.
Yeah, I do too, but then it gets cold, so I turned it off, but now it's getting warm again.
Well, I'm lucky because I opened the two doors, the back door in front, and it's breeze goes through.
Oh,
So I don't have the air conditioning on right now.
we
But
don't
it's
have
there if
too
I
much,
need it. Hmm?
we don't have too much wind right now.
We do. Geez, my chimes are chiming.
Oh, I hear
Yeah, they've been chiming for like 2 hours.
it.
And the wind is not hot. It's like a cool breeze.
Uh-huh.
But then we're closer to the bay than you are.
Right, right.
That helps.
I see Jonathan. I see.
He says hello.
Oh, hi, Rabbi.
Hi, Rabbi.
Hi.
I didn't know you could hear us.
Oh, I'm always curious
sure.
and sneaking what people are saying. All part of my evil plan to know the thoughts of every person.
Oh, okay. We have to talk, Rabbi. And there's Shorty. Hi, Shorty. I don't know, Rabbi. It's kind of warm out.
Oh my gosh, that is the understatement of the century. It is sunny and hot, and I went on a quick walk earlier today, and by the time I got back, I was like, well, I think I'm going to change clothes before Shabbat. It was so, yeah. I'm not quite ready for it, but alas, it is here.
Is it hot where you came from in Michigan? Does it get hot?
Yeah, it gets hot, but it also rains, and so then the rain cuts the heat usually. So it's weird because what was that? What is rain? What a great question. It's this thing where like there's droplets in the sky
Oh,
and then
interesting.
and then they cascade toward the earth. Yeah, it's incredible. You have to see it sometime.
Well, maybe next winter we'll be lucky. We sure weren't lucky this year.
A good thunderstorm is
Scary.
so here it's scary, especially because lightning could cause a fire.
Yes.
But there, where you're not worried about fires so much, the lightning and thunder is so calming, and then you can hear the pitter patter of the rain on the roof.
That's
and you
cool.
Can, like,
Yeah.
have a blanket wrapped around you and a book to read, which right now a blanket around you sounds absolutely horrific, but it's yeah. I My friends thought that I was a crazy person because when it would rain, I would go out and actually
No, don't get it. She's leaving a message.
I would do a little rain dance. It was the best feeling in the world. It made you feel so alive, but it also made your shoes really soggy. So yeah, it helps with the curls.
Or straighten your hair, one of the two. There she is. We could hear you.
Oh, oh, sorry, I didn't.
That's all right.
Okay, so it's looking
Oh,
like it is
oh, look.
7:31, so we are going to get started. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Hope that
Shabbat
you're
shalom.
here. We have a good crew online and in person. And we are about to get into the Shabbat spirit. But before we do that, I want to acknowledge that it's been a crazy. I feel like I say this every week, but it's been a crazy week this week, especially for those who were listening to the hearing yesterday. We're actually not going to talk about it this Shabbat. However, we'll have plenty of time to talk about it in the weeks to come. But for for today, I think that we should take the opportunity to turn off all of the things that are causing us lachats or stress, because as I just said, it feels like every single week we have to acknowledge something that's happened, because a lot of horrific things keep on happening over and over and over again, and sometimes it's that they're happening and sometimes it's that we're learning about them, and sometimes what that looks like is actually taking away from our ability to feel joy, or we feel guilty about feeling joyful or any of that stuff, and that is not in line with our Jewish values. We have Shabbat every week because we are meant to celebrate and feel Oneg Shabbat, the joy of Shabbat, every week. So we are going to get started with our Yedid Nefesh Nigun, the Nigun that we've just been learning. And so let us take a deep breath in and out. Yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai. It is my pleasure to invite Michelle Matta to join us up here to light the Shabbat candles. You'll go to that microphone over there. So you'll do the reading first.
We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God.
Page 120.
I'll get there.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We are on page 131 with the words Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. We are on page 138 with the words Lecha Dodi. seated. In honor of Pride Month, we share a blessing. Every Friday, we bow, and in front of us is more. In front of us is love, however we feel it, love that fills our Shabbat, and our tradition honors the lovers. Be present, be proud, be here. At Sinai, God said, "Remember that I told Shabbat that the community of Israel is her mate. She keeps us holy, she keeps us warm, she keeps us safe. She reminds us that each of us is a lover." Each Friday we say, "Come, my beloved," and she responds, "I've been here all along. I've shown you how to love in whatever way you do." Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu yotzer ha'olam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, creator of the universe, who made me in the image of God. To which we say, Amen. We continue with the words of Baruch Hu on page 146. Please rise in all the ways you are able. Be seated. Could I get someone from our online Zoommunity to share with us the reading on the page?
I guess I could do it.
Thank you.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai's Sitzvah is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Thank you, Susan. Dear heart, the world needs to be different, but it can't be different if you aren't. Tend to and be tender with your differences. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Yes.
We're on page 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. I found my joy. She wasn't hiding. She was waiting for the moment to lean forward, to come from the middle of my chest up, open up my throat and laugh without holding back. We continue with words of joy. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, page 158. Before we share some words of Hashkivenu, let's pause a moment to take a deep breath, to plant our feet on the ground, and to notice where we're feeling tired in our body, in our mind, in our ability or lack thereof to concentrate, in our yearning to be on a couch, perhaps for our friends on Zoom or on live stream, our current location of a couch. And let's think of one way that we hope to feel rejuvenated when we wake up tomorrow. We're on page 160. Baruch atah, atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah, atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah, atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. We continue with the tefillah, the core part of our service on page 164. Please rise in all the ways you are able. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevik Ula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please take a few moments for your own silent prayer, whether it's the pages or whether it's the words on the page or the words of your heart, and you can feel free to be seated. Shalom, shalom, imomar, uya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Uya'aseh shalom. So, in our words of wisdom time, let's remind ourselves where we are in the Torah portion. Last week, we began the book of Bamidbar, which literally translates to in the wilderness, but we tend to know it as the book of Numbers. Both monikers are remarkably accurate for last week's Torah portion and a little bit for this one. In the wilderness, Bamidbar, the people of Israel are in the wilderness of Sinai. And according to the first line of Bamidbar, they have been here for 2 years, 2 months, and 1 day since the Exodus from Egypt. And the 10 Commandments were given in Exodus, which we read about a book and a half ago. And they're still sitting here in the wilderness of Sinai. They have not yet moved forward toward the promised land. Numbers. Throughout the first parsha, God gives Moses instructions for communal infrastructure. One person from each tribe will assist Moses, each one being the head of their ancestral tribe. And the first task that the leaders will be given will be to help counting and documenting all of the men above age 20 in each tribe and in each clan, those of military age. And then we proceed to hear just how many there were in each tribe according to the census. Numbers. Then there is an accounting of the Kohathites who will carry the most holy of the objects for the Ohel Moed, the tent of meeting, where the tabernacle will be kept. Only the Kohathites can collect them, only they can properly cover and store them, and only they can carry them wherever they go. And it's that wherever they go that we should pay attention to. Whether or not we pick up on it at the beginning of the chapter, it becomes clear that the Israelites' time at Sinai is coming to a close. The Israelites have been in the wilderness of Sinai for quite some time now, but this is not meant to be their final destination. It is an important stop along their journey that they must leave to become the people that they are meant to be. While they will leave soon, they do not leave immediately. There are steps that need to be taken first. Packing list, assigning roles. Each person in each tribe needs to prepare themselves mentally and physically for the different needs of a people in movement. Yisrael will have different needs for their leaders, for their military, and for their holy objects as they leave this place of refuge. With that in mind, we return to this week's Torah portion, Parshat Naso, and the Torah portion begins with counting yet again. One might think theoretically that the military and the holy objects, they'd already been taken care of, so the rest of the other things will just take care of themselves, or perhaps it's not even important enough to be named. Yet God does not move forward with this assumption and does not leave off the details. Rather, God commands Moses to count those of the Gershonites and assign them the responsibility to carry the cloths of the tabernacle, the tent of meeting with its covering, the covering of dolphin skin that is on top of that, and the screen for the entrance of the tent of meeting. Oh, and by the way, also the hangings of the enclosure and the screens at the entrance of the gate of the enclosure that surround the tabernacle, and the cords and the altar and all of the equipment that goes with that, and all of the accessories. And then God commands Moses to count the Merarites and to assign them the responsibility of caring for and carrying the planks, the bars, the posts, and the sockets of the tabernacle. How many of us who have moved recently or have traveled have forgotten to check one last drawer or double check that all of the bags you intended to have in the car actually made it to the car? How many of us have forgotten to bring a phone charger but have remembered to bring 2 different containers of Tums? How many of us have remembered to bring our passport but had to stop at the store in the airport because we forgot a toothbrush? It might just be me, but personal experience suggests maybe otherwise. Besides the fact that the wilderness was not going to have any CVS's or Lowe's to stop off at if somebody forgot something, the reality that turning a whole caravan of thousands of people around to grab something that we left behind was not going to be an easy task. This week's Torah portion highlights for us the importance of even seemingly small rolls and parts. Even one missing post or socket could cause the tabernacle to not function as it was meant to. To have a whole clan assigned to the responsibility for paying attention to seemingly smaller, harmless pieces was God's way of saying, one, when it comes to things that we care about, there actually aren't parts that are inconsequential. Each part makes a difference in the success of the trip and of the people. And 2, responsibility for even the smallest or mundane piece is holy and important work. This week, we had our congregational meeting where we heard from our leaders about the work that they have done, and I was struck by how many thank yous there were to be shared. There was a gratitude for our multitude of leaders, for our members and members of our teams and committees, and for all individuals who have given their time, their energy, their ideas, their presence, and even sometimes their money. We are blessed to have a community that tends to each of our parts, the big and the small. Each person who has helped us keep track and tend to our needs as a community and movement deserves our utmost gratitude. And so I wanted to take this time to thank each person personally from the bottom of my heart. In the years to come, may more of us be inspired to follow your lead. May we find ways to give to our community, and may we find holiness in the big and small ways that we take responsibility for our communal needs. Can you hear at Zone? May this be God's will. With these words of Torah on our hearts, we think of those who are in need of healing, healing of body, healing of spirit, healing of soul. If you are thinking of someone who's in need of healing at this time, and you are joining us on Zoom or on live stream, I encourage you to type the person you are thinking of's name in the chat, or to say their name aloud to someone else in the room with you, or to hold them in your heart. And for all those who are in the room with us, I encourage you to share their name aloud or in your heart as my hand passes over your section. We'll pause in case anyone is still typing. For all those names that we've said aloud and those that we keep in our hearts, we turn to page 371 for the words of Mi Sheberach. Mi Sheberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi Sheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We turn to page 586 for the words of Aleinu. Please rise in all the ways you are able. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. Va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu. Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, ushemo, ushemo, ushemo echad. Please be seated. We take this time to think of those who are no longer with us, but live on in our memories and in our hearts. Please rise as your loved one's name is read. We remember those who have died in the past 30 days. Joyce Lindstrom, remembered by Arlen Bitter-Peavy and family. Joanne Hageman, remembered by Ann Anderson. And this Shabbat, we remember those whose yahrzeit occurred during the past week. Florence Barg, remembered by Cheryl Cohen. Renee Bodker, mother of Terry Gladish. Avi Elkaim, remembered by Suzanne Corbett. Gloria Gelb, mother of Alan Gelb. Gertrude Justman, remembered by James Cohen. Wendy Ottlesberg, sister of Lori Ravenscroft. Shirley Truxillo, sister of Sarah Granis. Marian Weiss, mother of Ronnie Peterson. Yuri Ozenberg, remembered by Eugene Mayerson. We now invite all who are observing their first year of mourning to rise at this time. And we now rise together as a community with our mourners and turn to page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almayam. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'it hadar, v'it alev, v'it halal, shemei dekudsha, b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated. It is now time for the announcements, and I believe I'm actually not sure who's sharing announcements this week. Oh, it's Gwen. Hi, Gwen. We're so glad you're here. Gwen, what is happening in our community?
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Have you RSVP'd for the 60th annual cabaret on June 25th yet? Don't wait for the last minute. This Wednesday, June 15th is the deadline, or you might lose out on joining us. Please note that the event will now be primarily outdoors and dressy to casual cocktail attire is suggested. Don't forget to check out our TBT 60th anniversary information page on the website. You'll find links to register for the Rockin' Shabbat on June 24th and to pay for a greeting in the cabaret's printed program, among other info. While you're there, add your voice to our community poem using the online form. You can also contribute using the cards on the table in the social hall. It's easy, just a sentence or two, no prior writing experience necessary. We're also still looking for contributions of items to be included in our silent auction, as well as sponsors for the printed program and cabaret. This summer, we're building a community of wellness. TBT is partnering with Keep Moving with Sherry, run by longtime TBT member and yoga/fitness instructor Sherry Plaza, to offer two free virtual classes in June and July. Gentle yoga and keep it moving. They begin on June 17th. You'll find details in the weekly and on our webpage. Next Friday, June 17th, join us for our first picnic of the season. We'll have an early Shabbat service at 6:30, followed by a picnic on the lawn. Please bring your own dairy or vegetarian meals, drinks, and supplies. See TBT's very own Sydney Walker Freeman in Theater Works of Silicon Valley's production of Ragtime. Check out the article in the June 2nd issue of the J News. Links and more info can be found in the weekly email. And there's more. We are so grateful to the sense of community multi-access has provided us, but we acknowledge that it can still be hard sometimes to feel the full community present when some of us are in person and some are virtual. So this July, we are going to be present where you are. Services during the month of July will be in person only. For those who are unable to attend in person, there will be an opportunity to do Shabbat blessings and Mourners Kaddish on Zoom at the announced time before the services. If you have questions, please feel free to be in touch with Rabbi Zoe. Thank you again to Jack Samoski for representing the worship committee, to Sean Rahman for being on AV, and to Michelle Eisenbrook for logging our music on J-License. And that's it.
And thank you to Gwen, who is our outgoing secretary on our board, and we're grateful for you being here today and sharing those announcements.
Thank you.
Anytime. We're all about gratitude here. So we are going to conclude our service with the words, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Peace will come our way, God willing, sometime soon.
Blessings.
But before we do that, we're going to do blessings. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do blessings. We will start off with blessing of family, however you define it. If you are not in the same space with somebody who you would like to share a blessing, please feel free to close your eyes for a moment and to hold them in your heart. And hopefully they'll feel the blessing. May God bless you and keep you. May God shine God's face upon you and be gracious to you. May God's face turn to you and grant you peace, to which we say, Amen. Amen. And now for Kiddush and Motzi. Oh yes, and also thank you to Janine for helping with the worship committee as well. We will start off with Kiddush first, actually, and then we'll do Motzi. Did you say thank Mara? Oh, and we should thank Mara. Thank you, Mara, for screen sharing and for helping with setup. There's just gratitude abound. We have gratitude for many people. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki vanu b'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. And now the motzi. Beautiful. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Now we'll pray for peace with the words Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Can't hear you.